I didn't even meet the grade requirements to get into this university, onto this course. I needed A star, A star, A, and I got AAB. How I got here, can't explain to you. It was only God. Yes, guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, I go by the name of TDOTT, and this is my Master of Engineering series. I told you guys, I'm going to be consistent once I finish this degree, and I'm gonna make sure I get my story out there because I know it's gonna benefit someone. Today, I'm gonna be talking about a lot of things, a lot of serious things, and I hope you guys enjoy. Before I get into it though, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this to someone that you know is going to university this September or next September, next January, whenever. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. So this episode is all about religion, faith, identity. And I'm going to preface this by saying I am Christian. I'm going to be talking about Christianity and my experience with it. But I feel like this can transcribe to any religion and any experience. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like we all deal with the same things in university. But let's get into it. I grew up in a Christian household, which means for my entire life, I've been going to church every Sunday, been going to church midweek, you know, New Year's Eve, Christmas Day, wherever it is, we are there. So when I got into uni, I knew that I want to go to church. Like, this is my opportunity now to show that I had not just been forced to go to church, but I want to do it like out of my heart, out of my own willingness and time. So when I got to uni, I was in search of a church. I think in my first or second week, you know, I didn't really even find anyone that wanted to go to church, but one person I knew at the time, he said like, yo, I'm going to this church, like, we saying, are you trying to come? I said, yeah, like, let's go, man, let's go, I'm there. I was ready, like, this must have been my first Sunday after moving in. The days come now, early in the morning, we've linked up at the shop and things like that, and they're like, I'm like, how are we getting there? They're like, we're booking Uber. What? Booking Uber to church? Now, I'm a student. So naturally, I have an inclination to not spend money where necessary. Like, as bad as it sounds, I did not want to spend money on an Uber to go to church. I needed to save that money because I wasn't working, as you've already heard many, many times. If you haven't, watch the previous episodes. But I wasn't working and I was like, Uber? Am I gonna have to be doing Uber to church every Sunday, direct debit before I've even entered the church? Nevertheless, I was like, cool, let's go, let's see how it is. And I went. I got to the church now and it just wasn't hitting like home. Like, I went to the service, I think also because I was tired. What they were saying, it wasn't really touching me. The service, it just didn't feel like, yeah, this is the place for me. And so I kind of left that place and I was like, man. And I feel like from that week onwards, I was just like, yeah, I don't know if I can be bothered to go and try and test hundreds of churches, or to just, it doesn't amount to anything because I'm moving out eventually. Like, in 4 years time, I'm going to be done with uni and I'm going to leave the church. So after a few weeks, I pretty much fell out of my search for a church in Birmingham, and I just said, you know what, let me just watch my service online. Like, that's why they do it. They do it so that, you know, if you're not at church, you can watch it online. And that did not last long either. You know, as a fresher at the time, you'd be going out Saturday night, Friday night, Thursday night, Wednesday night, Tuesday night, Monday night, every single night, even Sunday night sometimes. And I would wake up on a Sunday morning either late and miss the service, or I would just wake up and I'd be thinking, did I just wake up for this? Did I really just wake up to watch service online? I know it sounds bad, and it's definitely bad. Like, don't get me wrong. So there will be times where I'd be missing the online service, or I would get there right at the end. And it even got to the point where, shout out to my mum. My mum will always be asking me every Sunday, oh, did you watch service? Did you watch service? Did you watch service? I'd be telling her yes. This is what my yes was. I wake up out of bed, yeah. I put the laptop next to my head. I'll go to sleep. And I was like, whatever God wants me to hear, if it's truly, truly important to my life, I'm gonna hear it. That was my thought. That's how I saw watching online church. Like, whatever I need to hear, I will hear at that point. And even that didn't last long. And it's just because I was going out a lot and I just wasn't disciplined enough to watch service online. So slowly but surely, I pretty much fell out of that. And at this point now, I wasn't going to church in Birmingham. I wasn't watching service online. That was it. Fast forward to the end of first year now, at this point now, I've not been to church in Birmingham for months, which means I'm still going to church in London, but I'm going once every, like 4 times every 3 months. Like, I'm only going during holidays. So I had not been to church in Birmingham for months at this point. And I don't know what happened. I don't remember what exactly happened, but I had another group of friends who lived in my accommodation at the time. And I've just said that, I've seen that they're going to church frequently. I've said, yo, where you guys going? Can I follow you? They're like, yeah. yeah, we go to this church in the city, like you can come. And I remember on that day, they said I can come, and I went on a Sunday with them. It was the same thing. Oh yeah, we're gonna book cab there. I'm thinking, cab? Like, why are we booking cab? They're like, oh yeah, we can take bus, you know, but we're late or this, that, and the next. I was like, at this point, I need to go to church. So I'm willing to pay anything. And bear in mind, at the end of my first year, I was tremendously broke, as you are as a first year, and probably as a uni student for your whole degree. But I was so broke, I was like, I don't even care. Get me to church now. I've gotten there now, and that service was amazing. That church was beautiful. It really felt like my church at home, you know. Maybe I have an inclination to a specific type of service, but I was just so amazed and wowed by what I had experienced. I came home that day and everything was silent. But I felt a peace within me that I had not ever experienced in my life. I came home and it was deafening silence, and it was so beautiful because it seemed to me like, yo, there was just so much noise at the time. This thing had just silenced it. And I didn't even realize that everything prior was noise until I'd gone to church. And I was like, I need to go back. Get me back there ASAP. Like, it got to the point where I went back there regularly. Second year came and I'm happy I found a church. Eventually, I figured out, or like me and the people who went to the church, figured out how to get there without spending money. Early in my second year, I just said to myself, I made a promise, a covenant, like a pact with God. And I said, yo, God, like, I'm gonna make sure I'm here every single Sunday. If I don't have a good reason not to go to church, which means I can't say because I'm in another city, I'm not going to church. If I'm in London, I'm not going to church. Like I said, if there's not a justifiable excuse, I will be there every single Sunday. And that's exactly what I did. Guys, I kid you not. I used to travel to cities a lot, especially like places like Nottingham. I have friends there. I would go to other cities. I was still partying and things like that. Like, I wasn't perfect at this point, but I was in other cities, seeing friends, partying and whatnot. And on Saturday nights, I might miss the last train. That's not a good enough excuse not to go to church. I would book a cab from Nottingham to Birmingham just to make sure that I was in church on that Sunday morning. That was how serious it was. I would be going home on weekends. I might be in London on a Saturday night and I would leave to catch the first train in the morning. My parents be like, why are you in such a rush? I'm like, I'm going to church. I was going to church every single Sunday prolifically. That's the thing. Like, I was going to this church so much that I feel like internally I was changing. I was changing and I wasn't even realizing it. There were points now where I'm thinking about God in everything that I do. I'm like, again, I was not perfect. I still am not perfect, but I was doing things and the conviction was still there. I'm thinking, damn, like, why am I doing this? Or like, does this make sense to do? Does this honor God? Things like that. And I'm thinking, I wasn't like this before. Sometimes I even still think back to it now. Like, slowly but slowly though, my faith had started increasing. My relationship with God had started increasing. I was doing all sorts of things, praying regularly, reading my Bible, listening to gospel music. Like, all these things were increasing within me simply because I was going to church a lot more than I was previously. By correlation or by association, my life started getting a lot better. I think in my second year, obviously I was ACS president and we know how that story went. Like, there was amazing things that happened, a lot of networking, a lot of great achievements that came in that year. But then I'd also started to take social media again. I was getting these great opportunities. I'd worked with the likes of Channel 4.0, Boohoo Man, the Wall of Entertainment. Small me that I don't even have 50K followers now. I have 300 subscribers, hopefully, when this video comes out. But like, I wasn't someone that you would think would be getting these opportunities, and I still can't explain why I was favored to do so except through God. Even my internship and now grad job, the story for that is even insane in itself. To get this grad job is truly a testament. It's a testimony. Like, so I have a graduate job, and in that year when I got the internship first, I've applied to 50 to 100 jobs, like every single student should do or is doing at this point in time, because our economy, I'd applied to so many jobs throughout the entire year, and the story went just like everyone, rejection after rejection. Thank you for applying, but unfortunately this, that, the next. And that went on for a whole year, September all the way to May. All of my friends had internship. Yeah, all of my friends on my course, a lot of my close friends, Everyone had an internship except me. I was still working at Weatherspoon. And I remember, God bless this person that sent me this job. She sent me like 3 jobs. She's like, nah, I know you're still looking, here you go. And out of the 3 jobs, I picked only 1. At this point, I couldn't be bothered. I'd already accepted my fate that I'm gonna be in Weatherspoons this summer. Especially with the fact that, guys, I've been praying all year saying, this job is mine in Jesus' name. My name is on the job. My employee badge is already ready. I'm saying things like that. And it's not happening. I'm thinking, it's as well, it's only God, like God knows what he's doing. And I applied to this job now. I just applied half-heartedly. I got to the next stage. Now I have to lock in. So I did like half-hearted preparation. I'm at the interview now. And the guy's asked me a question. He's like, oh, so tell me what you know about me. I didn't even know how to answer that question. I had an option there. Do I just lie and pretend like I know it? Or do I just tell him, sorry, bro, I actually don't know. I'd given up so much that I just said, I'll be honest, bro. I don't know anything about this job. I'm sorry, I prepared, but I clearly haven't prepared enough. I said, yeah, that's it. Weatherspoons, here we go. And we'll see you in summer. Hey, lo and behold, I managed to convince him to give me another interview. Like I got through to the next stage because there was another part to the interview and I smashed it. My second interview, like the final stage, was with the person I had the first interview with. And so I knew what he was gonna ask me. I'd prepared for what he was going to ask me and I smashed it. Bro was so gassed. He's like, I can see you've done your research this time. And just like that, I got an internship. I got an internship, which is now my graduate job. I didn't even know what the role was. I didn't know what the role was until I started working. I probably shouldn't say that, but thank God that I'm here and I've made it. But I didn't know the company like I do now. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. I got that job in May 18th, 2025. I'd finished uni by then. So realistically, I shouldn't have been applying to jobs. I should have just been packing up my bag, getting ready to go and work in Weatherspoons for the summer. But I didn't have to because by some miracle, some crazy favor, some strange favor that I had, like I got the job and I can only thank God for that. But my point is, 3 years ago, I was without a church in this city. Had I not found this church, I don't know who I might be, what I might be doing, what path I might be walking right now. I'm here now. By God's grace, I'm benefiting from it incredibly. And this, again, is not to say I'm perfect. I'm so far from that. I make mistakes. I slip up all the time. Like, if you know me, if you see me, you probably are thinking, you might even be thinking, what? This you, why are you talking about this? It's true, because I'm not the best. I'm still working on myself. And we thank God because God is there walking by my side through this whole journey. Had I not asked my friends, yo, what church you go to? Can I follow you, please? Like, had I not had this this strange conviction to just go to church, like to make sure that I went to church at university, thank you to my parents and just everyone around me at the time. I don't know what I'll be doing right now. In conclusion, it's not my place to tell you who to believe in or what to believe in. University, this place will try and test you over and over again. What got me through it is God. It genuinely is God. As well as my friends, my family, my support system, all of that. It was definitely God. And I wouldn't be saying these things if it were not true. The reason I share this is because you might be going to uni, you might be getting ready to go to uni, thinking about, yo, how am I gonna go to church? What is the plan for me and God? And I'm here to tell you that don't forget where you came from. Don't forget that because it will definitely serve you. You know what I'm saying? I've had 4 years of achievements and I truly, truly thank God for that. But guys, that is it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to smash that like button, leave a comment. If there's anything you guys want me to talk about specifically, any themes or stories, let me know and I will make sure that I make that happen. Also, share this to a friend, a family member, someone that you know will benefit from this, especially people going to university or people in uni right now. I'm in TDOTT. This is Master of Engineering, and I will see you guys again soon.